Jayson Williams, in some aspects of life, made us believe in recovery and redemption. A great source of inspiration, as he went through a lot with his family and made his way out of all the hardships. What a powerful testimony. He proved himself to be blessed and unbreakable. In today's video, we're going to take a deeper look into some of the dark facts about Jayson Williams' life, especially the one which sent him to prison for 18 straight months. Jayson Williams, born on February 22, 1968 in Ritter, South Carolina, is a former American basketball player. He went to King Regional High School and joined St. John's University in New York. His mother, Barbara Williams, worked day and night at a nursing facility in Lower Manhattan to raise him with the comforts of life. Jayson Williams started playing basketball from a very early age and went on to make his mark in college basketball. He made his debut professionally in the NBA when he was selected by the Phoenix Suns in the first round with the 21st pick overall in the 1990 NBA draft. He then moved to the Philadelphia 76ers in 1993 and played as a bench player for 2 consecutive seasons before being traded to the New Jersey Nets. In his first 3 seasons with the Nets, he'd been an average player before finally earning a full-time starting position in the 1996-97 NBA season. The next season was his time to make an offensive comeback in the league, and he managed to receive his first and last All-Star Game selection by playing in the 1998 NBA All-Star Game. His career ended before even taking a remarkable start in a very terrible and shocking way in 1999. On April 1, 1999, he suffered a drastic injury which led his career to a blind tunnel. He broke his right leg by colliding with his teammate Stephon Marbury in a game against the Hawks. He underwent surgery due to the massive damage. The very next day, a plate and 5 screws were inserted into his leg to join his broken bone. This injury brought his NBA career to a crashing halt as he never played for the NBA again. He announced his retirement from the NBA on June 28, 2000. But that was not the last time he made it into the headlines, and it was just the beginning of a very shocking yet painful period of his life. Though Jayson Williams' basketball career ended with a sudden leg injury, he stayed in the headlines for an entirely shocking reason. A few years after his retirement, one dark night, he experienced a life-changing event that eventually sent him to prison. On February 14, 2002, Jayson Williams hired 55-year-old limousine driver Kostas Gus Christofi to drive his NBA charity team from Bethlehem in Pennsylvania to his mansion in Alexandria Township, New Jersey. Jayson Williams shot and killed Christofi at his home in front of his NBA charity teammates. This fatal manslaughter occurred in Williams' bedroom, but his intentions were never to kill anybody. It was just his bad luck that dragged him into a mess. Actually, he was playing with a shotgun while giving a tour of his 30,000 square foot mansion to his friends when the weapon accidentally fired, killing Christofi. He was giving a tour of his room to a group of his friends and showing them his weapon collection in his bedroom. While showing off his double-barreled 12-gauge shotgun, he didn't focus on checking the safety mechanism and inspected one of the 2 barrels before snapping it shut. Williams was apparently drunk as he was a die-hard alcohol lover, and this was the main reason that sent him on a downward spiral. Poor Christofi got shot in his chest and died on the spot. Williams himself was in shock, and he tried to cover the murder in a cowardly manner. He tried to get rid of the evidence against him on the scene. He asked his friends to strip off his clothes that were filled with Christofi's blood and jumped into the pool to wash the blood off. He even tried to make it look like a suicide when he wiped the shotgun stock and put it in Christofi's hands to make it appear as if Christofi had killed himself, and police would perceive the whole incident as self-inflicted. It was not his career-ending injury, but this fatal incident that initiated his downfall, and he ended up in a rehabilitation center. A bright and sparkling talent vanished in no time due to this unfortunate incident. Before we continue, NBA All-Stars wants you to win some prizes, so make sure to register your email in the first link in the description to participate, and make sure to check your email regularly from us to know what exactly you need to do in order to win. Williams went through a long procedure of investigations and court trials due to this reckless manslaughter. This horrific incident put him in a mental and economic crunch. In the aftermath of the shooting, Williams was convicted on 4 counts of trying to cover up his inhuman act, and a retrial was being delayed by court many times for a series of reasons. Then on January 11, 2010, he pleaded guilty to aggravated assault, and on the 23rd of February, he was finally sentenced to 5 years in prison and received a possible parole of 18 months. He spent 27 months in prison before being released on April 13, 2012. He was moved to Rikers Island in April of 2011 to serve an additional year in jail for DWI, but he finally came out of custody after 8 months. At his hearing in court, Jayson Williams appeared to feel the guilt of his actions. He turned with teary eyes and publicly apologized to the Christofi family for their loss. He said, "There is not a day in my life after this incident when I wake up and didn't feel sorry for what I did to Mr. Christofi, and I put you through this." He tried to cover up the case and paid more than $2 million to the Christofi family in 2003 in order to settle the process out of court, and he'd been free on bail since being charged in 2002. This fatal shooting incident affected his remaining career in the NBA as an analyst for NBC, which selected him due to his gregarious personality. He got suspended from the job after this incident. He had suffered many personal losses and setbacks after this incident. He went through back-to-back painful and heart-wrenching incidents after his retirement, which made him an alcoholic and aggressive. On April 27, 2009, he made it to the spotlight again when the New York City police reported that he was stunned with a taser in a nearby hotel room by the members of the NYPD after he became suicidal and violent. According to local police, he was absent-minded as he was clearly intoxicated, and many empty bottles of prescription medications were found all around him. Police stunned him with a stun gun and brought him to the hospital for immediate treatment. His female friend reported to police he was acting suicidal in the hotel room, and that's why she immediately called police. His drinking habit and taking excessive medications led him to disastrous troubles many times. Meanwhile, he was going through trials in court for the murder of innocent Christofi. On May 24, 2009, he was arrested by local police when he was drunk in North Carolina at a bar in Raleigh. He punched a man in the face outside the bar. He was allegedly charged with simple assault, and later he was released after the charges were dropped. On January 5, 2010, just as he was about to be imprisoned for the murder, he'd been taking excessive medication and met a horrific early morning accident in Lower Manhattan while driving while intoxicated. He crashed his Mercedes into a tree in a horrific car accident. He was charged with drunk driving. His medical reports indicated that his blood alcohol level was more than twice the normal limit. Among all the blunders and in all this chaos, his wife filed a case against him and asked for divorce. She continued her support in his legal matter of shooting Christofi. In his past, during his time in the NBA, he was accused of breaking a beer mug over a patron's head in Chicago sitting at a saloon, but he was not criminally charged for this act. He was a great admirer of a unique weapon collection and was accused of firing a semi-automatic weapon in a parking lot illegally. In short, his love for weapons and a drug addiction brought him to rehab in the end. In 2009, his father E.J. Williams, who was also a business partner in his construction company, died at the age of 76 of a stroke in South Carolina in November. His father's death, with many charges on him, left him in a terrible state of mind, and he started drinking alcohol more to forget the harsh realities. After all the mess he'd created when he killed and tried to cover up Christofi, he stated in an interview, "There was nothing I could do to bring him back." Recalling that terrible accident and its aftermath, he said, "I was at the peak of selfishness when I tried to cover up my bad act. I was acting cowardly, and that bothers me now." In his interview, he apologized to his family for putting them in hard times due to his bad deeds, though his intentions were never wrong. He said, "I'm so sorry for the pain I caused you. You deserve a better father, husband, and a son than I had been. I'm not a bad guy, but I acted badly on February 14th. I will try to improve myself and will work endlessly to make positive contributions." In 2012, it was reported that he's writing an autobiography in which he'll discuss many aspects of his life, including being abused as a child. The former NBA superstar and acclaimed basketball player of his time went to a rehabilitation center in Florida to recover from the night that still haunts him. He went through his own addictions and managed to get out of all the mess himself. He was addicted to alcohol and Ambien, but after his rehab sessions, he became sober and made sure to come out stronger and more decent after his recovery. He partnered with Futures Recovery Healthcare for his adventurous therapy that helped him to bring his life on track. Almost 4 years ago, Charles Oakley and Martin found him in New York in a cabin which he purchased from Jennifer Lopez, living his life drinking moonshine liquor and dandelion wine, and brought him to a rehab center in Delray Beach. He even collaborated for a TV show at the age of 51, in which he told his side of the story. He told his story in an inspirational way to help other people going through the same thing. in a documentary series Addiction Unplugged. With teary eyes and a painful voice, sitting in a third-floor room at a healthcare center, he relived all the events that led him to a downward spiral and how he found ecstasy in the bottle and trying to escape the reality. Enjoyed the video? Click the one that appears on your screen to keep watching.